Preview object. Why would it not? Should be assigned on awake. Why? Oh, because that is the, that isn't the instance, that's the prefab. So what I need to do is I need to get that's what I need. Wait, isn't this, that's just gonna give me this. Shit. It needs to be the actual instance. Who knows about that? This guy does. Now we're dealing with the actual instance of the object. Give me one sec. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. How come this won't snap back? That's my question. Now it's also always red. We're almost there, guys. Almost there, fellas. Then we have to do rotation. And then placement. Actually, placement should be pretty easy. We should say, don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. So ask Copilot. explain this function to me. Okay. This function doesn't seem to be realigning the object in the surface. Goes from the floor to the wall and back to the floor. It says to remove this. Okay. Trash Boom, hey, how you doing? Sorry, I'm focused on this. So I am working on a game that is okay, so there was a game jam back in November run by Lana Lux's community, and the theme was cozy games. So cozy game, yeah, I need to create commands for this. So cozy games like Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, or basically things that are cozy. And one of the genres for cozy is these simulator games. Specifically, House Flipper Simulator is one of the games that's out there. So I kind of spun that on its head a little bit. And the idea is that you are hired by a villain whose dungeon was ransacked by adventurers. And there's like looted chests, and there's corpses, and there's blood on the walls, and all this kind of stuff. And the villain has hired you to renovate their dungeon. And that's the game idea that I'm going with. The game jam was back in November. I unfortunately wasn't able to finish this demo for that, but I had a lot of fun making it, and I wanted to finish it. And I think it's actually could potentially be a product. So I'm gonna finish the demo for WebGL, get that up on itch.io so people can play it, and then actually possibly turn it into a full product. Please note that all the artwork in the game, including the user interface, is all assets. I'm not an artist. I'm a programmer. So all the code is written by me with the assistance of some AI. But all the code's written by me, and I've had assistance with the sound and audio from another community member who goes by M Audio, who is a voice actress and voice actor, as well as a sound engineer. So all the sounds are done by her, and all the artwork is done from assets that I purchased, but all the code is done by me. And we're going with Fortress Flipper as the name of the game right now, temporarily, possibly the long-term name. And right now I'm working on placing items in the game. So I have the ability for you to go here and craft. Again, everything's placeholder. And the idea is that you can place items on the ground. Okay, so this did fix. But it's now returning red, and I want to know why. this function is valid placement. Is placement is value. Actually, let's rename these. So this should be is layer valid, and then this should be is placement valid, and this should be is surface valid. Okay. And let's just move these all together. Anyway, I hope that answered your question. I hope you were stuck around for it and I didn't ignore you for too long. Apologies. This can be private. Okay. So let's analyze this function and control. Explain this function to me. Determines if the placement of an object is valid based on its position, surface normal, and the blueprint handler instance. Not exactly, but the position where the object is intended to be placed, the normal vector of the surface at the placement position, that provides information about the object's collider and other properties. That makes sense. Calculate the box center, the position plus the center of the bounds, which computes the center of the bounding box of the object to be placed by adding the position of the center of the collider's bounds. Okay, we get the rotation of the object. That makes sense. We get the extents. The extents is the half sizes of the collider's bounding box. Yep. Define an offset. So basically we're finding a start position for our box cast, which is the center of the box moved up by the offset. So 0.1 position. We perform the box cast. Perform a box cast from the start position downward. Yep, that makes sense. And we're going to check to make sure that we hit a layer that we want to be able to build on, which right now is either a default layer or the level layer. And we store the hit, obviously. We then check the surface angle. So we get the angle of that surface. Calculates the angle difference between the surface normal and the hit point and the provided normal. Returns true if the angle is less than the minimum surface angle, indicating the surface is suitable for placement. Returns false if no hit. No collisions are detected during the box cast. The function returns false. Makes sense. Let's continue over here and let's say this function always seems to return false. What am I missing? And before I do that, I want to make sure it's actually this function that's returning false. So let's go to can place and we'll just debug invalid layer, invalid surface, invalid placement. My guess is invalid placement is always going to be triggering. And again, this is going back to here because this is returning false. And therefore we are setting it to red. Yeah, invalid placement. Invalid placement. Everywhere. Invalid placement. Placement. Okay. So we know that that is correct. So what am I missing? So let's ask. Let's ask Copilot here. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Let's see. Copilot has analyzed my code. To diagnose why the invalid placement always returns false, well, let's break it down. Oh, I asked the wrong. Did I ask the wrong function? I did. I asked it the wrong. Hold on a second. This one. Why does this function seem to always return false? Can you help me? Please? Always remember to be nice to your AI because they will take over the world and then they'll remember that you're nice to them. Very important. Might be too small. Okay. Yep. We did that. Surface angle to reasonable. Additional debugging. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. You're not helpful. All right. Let's do the debugging they suggest. Maybe the surface angle is too small. I don't know. Let's find out. The box cast isn't hitting. Okay. Box cast is not hitting. X distance is let's try making that a little bigger. It's interesting. The extents are... Oh. Okay. I guess it is the box cast. Okay. Let's try making it a big... I probably should just make this a value in the inspector instead of tweaking it every 10 seconds. Cast did not hit. Why? I don't understand. Like that hit. Why does this not hit? That's funny. Let's try something here. Oops. Actually, I realized the chest is like really small, and I think it's because originally the box was too big, so... Almost there, guys. I can feel it. See, like, this should be fine. Let me... Oh, look at that. We're floating. That's why. We want to be like on the ground. Okay, so that's one problem. And now we're snapping a grid, and it's probably even worse. Yeah. Yeah, look, it's like interesting that this works. Because this is probably a little lower. All right, I think we know what the issue is. We're not like actually on the ground, and that is causing the box cast to miss, which we can fix. We just have to adjust any sort of offset that we have. In fact, this might be no, because this is just technically valid placement. If I go back to placement controller and I align with surface, if I go to align with surface, this is actually just rotating it. Where is the actual set position, calculate position, this part, this part is probably what's throwing us off. So we're gonna have to look at this again, and in fact, let's ask. So it appears that my preview object is hovering over the ground. I need it to snap closer to the floor, to the surface. Any ideas on what could be causing the issue? Let's see if we can have it decipher, because again, this part of the code I had a little help with. So let's see. Saying to try this adjustment. Saying to remove the minus and just set it equal to that position minus. That's all it said to do, was to remove that. So let's see if that works. I'm wondering if it's also the floor. No, because I think I think these colliders are pretty... How come this one... It's interesting, this one doesn't show up until I do. That's weird. But that could also be it. It could be the collider. no, that definitely puts it into the ground. Okay. I have a feeling I'm just missing something very key. So that's not, wasn't it? All right. We'll take a look at this tomorrow. I think we did some good progress. We added a bunch of stuff. Worked on the placeable system a little bit. So we got it snapping to grid. We got it hovering. We got it doing all this stuff we wanted to do. It's aligning to surface. We're checking to make sure that the surface we can do to different surfaces like the floor, walls, ceilings, things like that. I probably need to adjust the collision of the insides a little bit because like some stuff is like bleeding through the walls. But again, for the demo, I'm not going to worry about it too much. I do want to make sure that stuff's sitting on the floor properly. So if anything, I'll adjust the floor because, you know, right now you can only place the treasure chest. But yeah, I think that was a pretty good night. All right, everybody. Happy New Year, Jan 1st. Hope your New Year started well. Other than that, I hope everyone has a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.